You're live. Okay. Crap. You got a notification? So you're on? I'm on. Don't go anywhere. For a minute. Okay. There's more people coming in. Okay, cool. Oh man. Okay. It looks like everybody's getting over to the right place. Let me pop out this chat. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Everybody's getting over here. Can everybody hear me okay? All right, very cool. Very cool. All right. Trying things a little bit different this time. Awesome. Trying things a little bit different this time with a webcam instead of my whole camera setup. Let me kill this. There we go. Okay, that's a little bit better. Hey guys. Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Like I'm not good doing this doing the whole YouTube thing with trying to schedule a live chat. I'm finding it's easier just to moving forward, I'm just going to like put it out there that I'm doing a live chat and then just at the last second, at 7 o'clock or whenever I do it, just log on and go live. Whenever I try to set it up ahead of time, I don't know how to get to it to where I set it to where it actually goes live. Like you guys are all sitting there waiting and there's nothing. Like YouTube sucks at this for simplicity. Like they are not user friendly at all. It's ridiculous. So the easiest way to do it is to just do it manually. When you try to do it another way, it just screws up every time. When you try to do it automated. So as you guys probably saw in my last video, we slowly crawled up here to New Hampshire and finally got here. And as you can see my new background kind of, this is where we're camping out for the month. So it's not bad. It's a pretty cool place. And, we're just kind of camping out here for the month until October 2nd, where then we move into our real place. But it's pretty cool. It's definitely different, totally different up here than in South Florida. I totally fell in love with chipmunks. Like I love chipmunks. They're awesome. I don't know what it is about them. I mean, like I thought that I've never we have squirrels and everything in Florida. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Squirrels are cool, whatever. But these little chipmunks just blow me away. So I totally am like doing a whole journey with chipmunks now as far as like a spirit totem because they've been sticking out to me so much. So totally going to be working with that. So that's going to be interesting moving forward. It's definitely colder up here. So at nighttime, like right now, it's like 70 degrees, I think, which isn't really cold, but I mean, compared to where in Florida, where it's like 85 right now, I mean, and during the day, it stays in the 70s, and sometimes at night it drops down to like the 50s, which is cool because like where I'm at right now, there's no AC in this home. I guess they have an AC, but I guess they just don't have it going because I guess it's wintertime and there's really no need for it. So we just open windows, which is kind of interesting because in Florida, if you don't have an AC unit, you like move out and you go to live somewhere else. Mm. And the other thing that stinks, I don't get, but I guess I kind of had it coming. My whiskey that I always get. I mean, they have it here, but the stores here, the liquor stores aren't the same as up in Florida. Up in Florida, liquor stores are open till 10, 11, 12 o'clock. Down here, they close at 7. And on Sundays, they close at 5. So I'm drinking port wine because I just like sweet alcohols. That's why I always drink Honey Jim. So this is like a sweet wine. So whatever. I had to make it work. So let me go to some of your comments here. So everybody's hearing me fine. I bet the temp is much cooler than what we're used to in the. Oh God, yeah, it's definitely a lot cooler. Everything's just so different. It's so different. It's like there's woods here. There's like forest everywhere. I go to the forest every day, and it's just so cool. And I got this little phone app, like I was saying that in my last video, where it's got like a plant identification thing, and it also does birds and insects. So I'm taking pictures of everything all the time, pissing Pink off. I mean, she's just like, "Can we just walk in the woods, please?" And I'm like, "Well, but I gotta get the pictures of this stuff." And like it tells me what it is, and it's crazy because there's so many things there's so many herbs and everything that I'm finding naturally here that that I can actually look at. Where in Florida, you bought them online. I mean, I found so many things here so far that I've only seen already dried up and in a package. Mullein and mugwort, and I mean, there's so many. It's ridiculous. And the trees, I pretty much found like pretty much every magical tree that they talk about that's in all the books. All like between oak, witch hazel, pine, ash, uh, willow. I've found all of those trees. Like I've physically walked up to them and touched them. Where in Florida, you just don't have that. I mean, Florida has its own pros, and has its own cons. And I'm sure this place will have cons too. Right now, I haven't found any. Other than I left my friends and family in Florida, there's no cons here. I mean, I love it, love it, love it. But yeah, so let's go to some of your questions here and see if I can pull some out here. Bet the weather's feeling amazing. It's totally feeling amazing right now. But everybody's warning me that it's going to get witch's tit cold coming up. So most northern states don't have central air. Moon Kitty, yeah, I'm starting to see that. I also noticed that's the other thing. There's these gorgeous houses, these beautiful houses. I mean, the architecture here is so different. Everything is like out of a fantasy book. Like the houses are just amazing. And they'll have like window shakers for air conditioning because they don't have, like you were saying, they don't have central air. So they'll have like these things sticking out of the window. For me personally, I open a window at night, and because I've got to have some kind of cool air coming in. So like tonight probably will be one of those nights, even though the last 3 or 4 nights I haven't had to do it. But I did buy this little box fan, and I got this little like screen thing that props the window open. And I use the box fan to blow air into the room because that's one thing is I when I sleep, I've got to be cold. Like, and I'm sure like there's so many of you out there like this. When I sleep at night, I got to be freaking freezing, or I just don't sleep. If I sweat or if I'm just hot, I can't sleep at all. So gotta have that cold shit coming in, or else forget it. I think tonight's gonna be one of those nights because it kind of warmed up a little bit today, but it rained most of the day today, but it's still kind of like on the warm side for some reason. Let's see. Moon Kitty, also, you used to live in Pembroke Pines? That's awesome. Huh. I wonder if we probably have met before. I mean, I was born and raised there for my whole life, so. Hi from Michigan. Hey, Kelly, how's it going? The White Mountains are gorgeous from Darth. I haven't been to the White Mountains yet. Yesterday we went up to like Laconia, I think it's called, and it was totally cool. Like the towns there are so amazing. They're like totally laid back and like kind of. Let me fix this camera a little bit. I guess that'll do. And they're kind of laid back and whatnot, and kind of neat. And the stores there. It's funny because you see a lot of stores here that are actually like just like houses. They're not like strip mall type deals. That's really cool also. Have we found any crystals? Faya, have we found any crystals in the woods? Crystals, not necessarily crystals, but rocks, like stones, for sure. Especially walking through, you find a lot of them. Yeah, absolutely. Andy, can I do a video on magical trees and what they do? Absolutely. That's actually a great idea. Actually, I have it written down already as one of my topics to cover. So yeah, because there's like 7 magical woods. I'll probably pick some that are around here and go over them. That would probably be the easiest thing to do. And definitely I'll do that for sure. Because I can actually personally like walk up to the tree and be like, this is an older tree. And there's birch, we have the birch tree here. There's a yew tree. It's just amazing. There's like everything here. I have a holly tree right outside the front door, like the holly and oak. I have a holly and oak right outside the front door. So I have the Battle of the Kings right in my front yard. Like literally, it's crazy. I know it probably sounds stupid when I'm talking about these things, but again, I was born and raised in Florida. I'm not knocking Florida, but it's so not magical there. I mean, there's magic there. Yeah, I mean, you can make it yourself, but it's just so much more. The environment. It's like imagine walking outside your front door and everything you've worked with and practiced with your whole life is right in front of you. It's like right there. You're touching it. That's what it's like up here. It's like you literally, the magic is just everywhere. So I've had a few people tell me that one of the differences between being down south and up north, where there's 4 seasons and everything, is you can so much feel the magic so much more when you're in a more northern state than when you're in the southern states. It's like it literally comes to life and surrounds you. And now I'm experiencing what they mean. Exactly that. Exactly right. It's like you literally are touching and feeling all of the things you've worked with in books and bought dried already and seen in movies and seen in things like that you've read about, but you actually get to see them. So tomorrow I'm actually going to the American Stonehenge. There's a Stonehenge up here that they call the American Stonehenge, and we're going to go visit that tomorrow, which is going to be completely awesome. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do a video about it. I'm going to take you guys with me so you guys can experience it too, for sure. Darth says, must be nice with no sales tax. Totally cool. I had to get used to that. So there's actually been 2 times now where I bought something and I asked the cashier if they forgot to ring something up or something, because I was expecting it to cost more, and it was just because the sales tax wasn't there. So that threw me for a loop a couple of times already. That, and also up here, there's signs and everything on the highways that actually show like distances and speeds and stuff. And they also do it in, so we do everything in imperial, and they also have stuff here in metric, because I guess we're so close to Canada. So they'll also put numbers in metric also, I guess, for them. Let's see some more questions here. Let me bring up real quick some of that music again I was doing last time. I just feel like it's pretty cool to do some of that. Let's see. Songs. Let's start out with, and this is the same music I'm playing for you guys. It's going to be kind of like playing in the background. It's still kind of like the same stuff that I put on the videos, because I have like a set list here. So let's see if it even plays. Ooh, I got to turn that down. All right. Oops. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but good enough. Let's see what we got here. Hawthorn, cherry, apple, pear, trees in yard. Nice. Moon Kitty says I may be changing when the first snowfall comes. So everybody tells me that too. I've been here during the wintertime already, so I know what to expect. Now, granted, I only visited for like a week or two. I didn't live through it for the three and a half months that it actually lasts here. But I think I'm going to do okay. I'm kind of like, I think like my inner Viking comes out, and I just do so well with the cold and the snow. One of the things that, like, I would come up to visit Pink, and one of the things she says is she doesn't understand how. I mean, I was out here in February, and it's snow. There's a foot of snow on the ground, and I was in a t-shirt and pants. You know, I mean, she says she doesn't understand how I handle the cold so well. I don't know. I like to say it's my inner Viking coming out, but who knows? I just handle the cold. But it's probably because I'm fat, so I have a lot of insulation. Yeah, so we've got Tanya talks about the weeping willows. Yeah, the weeping willows, cool. I'm totally going to harvest a wand from one of them as soon as I get a chance. I've always wanted to make my own willow wand. Definitely doing that. Let's see. Oh my gosh, you guys are really flooding through this thing with some questions and statements here. Let's see. Yes, trees would be awesome. Yep, definitely going to do the tree video. Let's see. Everything worked out. It was in figurative. I'm not New Hampshire. The guys said we're looking around. I'm so excited for you. Are you living in? You're living in my dream area. Lady Raven says you're living in my dream area. Well, it's definitely cool. And the other thing is, there's craft shops. There's so many craft shops up here. It's like there's one in every city, sometimes 3 and 4 in a city, which is really cool too. So let's see. Birch trees, not birth trees. Birch trees. I didn't say birth trees. Did I say birth trees? Or maybe, I don't know. Whatever. American Stone. Keith says, I'll love American Stonehenge. That's very cool. Thank you. I hope so. I can't wait to go. Moon Kitty asks if I plan to start a coven in New Hampshire. I'm not going to start a coven, but I am working with a priestess up here. Actually, 2 priestesses. Well, 1 priestess, but in 1 priestess I'm helping out. But yeah, I'm going to be working with a coven for sure. Yeah, I've already met them actually. I went and circled with them last weekend, and they were really cool people. So I'm kind of psyched about that. It's kind of bittersweet because, again, like I'm leaving a bunch of people. I left a bunch of people in Florida. I left a couple of covens in Florida and left a lot of family and friends, and I miss that. I'm not going to talk about the family. I'm not going to talk about the family and friends that I left because I'm probably going to break down. So sorry, guys. So we're going to skip that question. I don't want to talk about that. Okay. Andy says, what's the best way to find a priestess? I think I have a video that actually talks about these things. It talks about getting within and working with people. Like, I think it's the video that talks about what to do as a beginning witch. One of the best ways to find a priestess, honestly, is you have to connect. You have to get into your area that you're in. You have to go to local stores. You have to connect with the community. I'm experiencing that for the first time in my life, where I have to start from scratch. So I literally drove to the local. So I'm in Hooksett, New Hampshire, as of right now, but we'll only be here for about a month, and then we're moving into Manchester. But I located. I actually drove by it. The local what do you call it? Universalist Unitarian Church. And I went online to look them up, and they were saying that, they celebrate all these different things. And some of the things they celebrated were the equinoxes and the solstices. So immediately I'm connecting that there must be a pagan-based version up here, just like there was back in Fort Lauderdale. There was like a what was called the Moon Path Cups, which was the Universalist Unitarian Pagan division over there. So I'm hoping there's something like that up here, because that's going to be like the easiest way for me to connect with other people. But being that I'm Gardnerian, I also already had a jump on things because I know the community already, and there's Gardnerians, so many Gardnerians all over the place. So that's how before I even got here, I had already been working. I had already worked with the priestess I was going to be working with. She had actually come down to Florida, and we did a circle together at Beltane. So, but as far as for meeting a priestess or even meeting other coveners and everything else, you have to connect with the community you're at, put some things out there, put some feelers out there, and just get to, just like, anything else, I wish I could tell you like a special spell to do where it just drops a priestess into your life, but I don't know what that is. So let's have a drink together, guys. For sure. If everybody's got it out there, cheers. Donna Wood says, you got picture this. Yeah, it's totally awesome. And it has, not only does it do plants, herbs, and trees, and it's so incredibly accurate, it also does birds, which I've used a few times, and it does insects, which I've used a few times. And so it's really cool. It totally kicks ass. I'd say, looking at, wait a minute. I got some more. Sorry, guys. Hold on a second. Let's put some more music here. Let's do Dreams of the Brave. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Oh, the kitties. Melody asks, how are the kitties adjusting? Man. So they they like it too. They love it also. So another weird thing here that I've never experienced in my life is basements. So there's a basement down there and which is so cool, because the first thing I did when I walked into the basement when we got here, I was like, whoa, I'm totally putting my computer down here and totally like, this is going to be a whole studio for me and everything. But then I was like, yeah, but we're only going to be here for a month, so that's kind of stupid. And plus it's really cold down there. But the cats love the basement, so we put their litter box and stuff down there, and they just like go down there. They practically live down there. But they come up, everything, they're adjusting well. They like it. Holly's cool. Holly likes it a lot. She's fat as usual. Just, she hasn't like lessened her eating habits or anything like that. So I guess she's happy. So Debbie C says, did you and Pink already know each other from before you started YouTube, or was it YouTube that helped bring you together? You guys are great couple, and I love your videos together. Yeah. It was YouTube. It was actually, I met Pink after I started this channel. She was going on, and if you go back in some of my earlier videos, you'll see in the comments that she made comments like every time. She would make a bunch of comments. And so one day ended up just getting a hold of her. I just called her. I said something. We ended up texting back and forth via Facebook, that messenger app. And then I just basically contacted her. And then it just so happened it was around Salem, around uh, Halloween. And I had some friends of mine, some fellow Coveners that were going to Salem for Halloween. So I went with them. And when I went with them, I happened to be talking to Pink at one point. I was like, hey, yeah, I'm going to Salem. I'm going to be up that way. Too bad, it's so far away. She's like, what are you talking about? It's so far away. She goes, I live 45 minutes from Salem, Massachusetts. And I was like, oh, so she came down and she visited. So we all hung out for the weekend and it was cool. And that's where we kind of met and, started, our relationship. So Darth says, have you said hi to any of the ghosts in the basement? I have not said hi to any of the ghosts in the basement. As a matter of fact, so this is a 2-story house. So I sleep upstairs and the only bathroom is downstairs. So every morning, like it's still dark. It's usually about 4 or 5 in the morning. I don't know why, because I drink a lot of water and stuff before I get to bed. So every morning at like 4 or 5 in the morning, I get up and I have to go pee, right? So I walk down the stairs and I come down to this totally weird house that is totally new to me. And I'm always expecting to turn the corner or come down the stairs and just see like this ghost sitting there or something like that. Which, to be honest with you, I wouldn't mind. I don't care. I'm not afraid of ghosts. I'm never really have been afraid of any of the stuff like that. So it's one of those things where I've just been like, but it hasn't happened. And I think one of the reasons it hasn't happened is because probably because I don't have the reaction that most people would have. Sometimes I think your fear actually feeds that energy to make ghosts and stuff come around more. So I guess I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot by not being scared of them. I don't know. One of these days I want to do it. I actually used to do ghost hunting back in the day. And I actually have a lot of equipment and everything that we used to do ghost hunting way back when. And I was actually going to do a video one day about that and work it into my Witch into Working and do like a video on ghosts and ghost hunting. No, I know a lot about it. Way before it was big on TV. We're talking like back in the early 90s when I was doing this. So me and a bunch of friends used to actually have an organization called the Black Knights Paranormal Investigation Team. And we would go around and people would actually hire us to go to their houses and go to their businesses and scope out things because they said that they would have hauntings and they wanted to know more about it. Way before it was a big thing on TV, we were doing this. So I remember when it came out on TV, I remember like calling up my friends because we had stopped doing it after a few years and going, oh my God, this could have been us. This could have been us. It's just funny how those things work out. Unknown account says, where's Pink? She decided not to sit in on this one. She's upstairs. She's actually watching it. She'll probably, Pink, say hi to everybody. Like type a little thing and say hi. I asked her to be down here, guys, but she was like, no, I don't want to do it tonight. So Melody, you said, gotta know what it's like, you practicing Wicca and Pink practicing witchcraft. Well, to be honest, the style of Wicca that I practice is witchcraft. So it's really the same thing. The only difference is, I guess the biggest difference between mine and Pink's practices is Pink, she's like solely she's like witchcraft, just witchcraft. She doesn't do the religious part of it. She believes in a god and goddess and things like that, but she doesn't practice like Gardnerian witchcraft, for instance, where there's a lot more religious basis to it. She'll come to a lot of my gatherings and she'll come to a lot of my coven practices that are, outer court practices. And she goes to most of them and she totally respects it and totally like sees it and sees how it goes and everything. But she, in the interim of it, she doesn't really put a lot of stock into the religious side of it. She's mostly just deals with the witchcraft side. So in essence, it's really easy for us to get along because we both believe in the same exact thing regardless. She just doesn't give it into semantics. For example, I use an athame in my practice. She doesn't. There's things like that I do, but we do a lot of the same things. Like when she does magic, she casts a circle. She calls quarters, just like everybody else. It's just that there's certain things that I do in my practice, like tools and things that are a little bit more systematical, that she doesn't bother with those systematical things. She just gets right to the point, so. Pink, Pink says, Pink says, ghost hunting. I have very important things to do that day. She's not too big on ghost hunting. She actually doesn't understand it. She thinks that spirits feel like they just want to be left alone and that we shouldn't be messing with them for the most part. So Moon Kitty says, Manon, I have to say you've helped my understanding of Wicca. I had a bad experience with a HPS, which is a high priestess, and haven't touched it since then. I really appreciate your videos. Thanks, Moon Kitty. So I'm sorry that you had a bad experience with an HPS, but I can tell you that they're not all like that. A lot of the high priestesses I know and a lot of the high priests I know, especially in Gardnerian Wicca, are just like me. So if you like me, you'll like a lot of them too. But there are people out there. Unfortunately, people are people. And there's people out there that just are assholes, and ego gets in the way a lot of times. And a lot of times when you have a problem with a high priest or high priestess of any tradition of whatever magical system, if ego is involved, that's where the issue comes in. It's very easy to get caught up in ego with these practices and with things like teaching other people and things like that, especially in these magical practices. It's very easy to get caught up in that. And a lot of times these people take advantage of other people because of that ego. Let's see. Let's put some more music on. Let's see. Fisherman's Cousin. It's a good one. Okay. It must be awesome being with someone who gets it. Melody says, love it. It must be awesome being with someone who gets it. So would love for you to touch base once you find out that all our basements have someone living in it. The guy who lives in mine's name's Ed. That's crazy. So I don't go down to the basement. So now it makes me wonder if I come down for one of my morning pees, if I shouldn't go down into the basement and see if there's anything down there. XX Deathly says, do you know if there's anything I can do with horseshoe crab stingers? I mean, I don't know anything specific, but I can imagine anything you would do. I mean, I could immediately, there's things that come to mind though, right off the bat. I mean, personally, if I had a horseshoe crab stinger and I was using it in a spell, I would use it in a spell that requires foundation and rooting. Say you were doing a spell that had to do with stability. You were doing a job that you were requiring stability, and you were requiring like a life of well, exactly that. Say you wanted to keep the life you had, or something where things were more stable for you. Good job, good money coming in, proper family issues going great. Write it all out, burn a candle, take that stinger, stab it through the written paper into the earth for your foundation. Boom. That's what I would do with a horseshoe stinger. Horseshoe crab stinger, sorry. Yeah, that's another thing I realized up here is there's a lot of houses that are very old houses. It's crazy, like over 100 years old, 150 years old. That always blows me away too, because everything in Florida is like, I mean, most things in Florida are less than 50 years old. You know, in South Florida. Sorry, I don't want to wrap all of Florida in. In South Florida, everything's pretty young. Thea, 1969, says, you have a new moon tomorrow. I hope you enjoy your first new moon in your new place. Make sure you make some black salt in your new home and your new witch bottle. Oh, you are so right. I was actually just telling Pink like 2 days ago that I've got to do a witch's bottle for now that I live here, which I need to do. I'll end up doing that this month for sure. Thanks for reminding me. The other thing is, let me turn this down a little bit. Yeah, for the new moon, I'm totally doing a spell for the new moon. I'm not going to tell you guys what it's about, but I'm totally doing a spell. I meant to do it tonight, but I'm going to end up doing it tomorrow night. Let's see. Why Rosie? You ask, what is a witch's bottle? I have a video. If you go back in the episodes, it talks all about the witch's bottle. I think it's called Lightning in a Bottle. Go back and watch that video, and it'll tell you, teach you everything you need to know about a witch's bottle. Let's see. Jeremy Gibbs, I have yet to personally meet an HP. However, I believe it would be a very interesting experience. For sure. I mean, when you come up with somebody when you meet a high priest or high priestess, I mean, you have to remember this. This is the most important thing. When you are meeting these people that are high priest or high priestesses, these supposed leaders of a coven or leaders of a group or whoever, you have to, it's not one-sided. You have to interview them too. So say they want to talk to you about, their magical practice or something like that, or like, especially if you're going to join a coven. It's not about the priest and priestess meeting this new covener and being all of the and being all one-sided about them interviewing the student and making sure that student's not a whack job or something like that. It's the student's responsibility too, or the seeker's responsibility to do the same thing with that priest and priestess. And that is interview them. Absolutely ask questions to them. It's the same thing. You got to make sure you as a seeker are not dealing with a couple of whack jobs, nut jobs, which totally happens all the time. So definitely do that too. It's a two-sided coin there. Moon Kitty, I live in Georgia now. It's not exactly the most friendly place to us witches and pagans. Ego is a huge block for any person here. Yeah, ego always ruins so many things. Let's see. I'm trying to see what I see. A lot of people that are talking to Pen Proper and saying and telling him or her things that I'm trying to see what he or she said. I can't. Where they're giving advice, but yeah, Pen Proper. It's never too late to get a degree in something or do something like that. Absolutely. Melody says, I've learned a ton from you, even though I practice witchcraft loosely. You've been instrumental for kicking my practice into gear, Manon. You've been instrumental for kicking my practice into gear, Manon. Not sure exactly how you spell it. Yeah. Actually, you spelled it right. That's exactly right. Mannun, like man, none. It's kind of weird, but it's just short for Manannan McLear. That's all. Like I explained before, my craft name when I originally took it was Manannan. Short, for that Irish sea god, Manannan McLear. But so many people had trouble pronouncing it that I just shortened it to Mannon for ease of use. So Jeremy says, is there room for Lilith in Gardnerian Wicca? So in Gardnerian Wicca, yeah, absolutely. First, to answer your question, absolutely. There's room for any god and goddess in Gardnerian Wicca. Whatever you want to do. You could bring Jesus into Gardnerian Wicca for all we care. It's not like that in this practice. This practice is very open, and even though it's very private, that was kind of stupid. Obviously it's a very private practice because it's oath bound, but at the same time, it's very open. For the most part in Gardnerian Wicca, we don't really celebrate gods and goddesses in specific. We celebrate the masculine and feminine as a whole. So you can bring in any god and goddess. Whoever your heart desires, you can incorporate in your practice. In Gardnerian Wicca, it's not about telling a person what they have to do. And we don't tell you how to practice. We kind of give you guidelines on how to practice, on our way of practicing. But as far as your belief system goes, we do not tell you how to believe at all. Your belief system, whatever it may be, can be incorporated into Gardnerian Wicca. The only thing we have is certain practices that we follow suit to. The belief system in itself is whatever you came into it as. It's for your comfort level. It's whatever you want to do. Whatever God you want to use them. Whatever goddess you want to use, you're allowed to use her. It doesn't stifle your belief system at all. Put a little bit more port here. This port wine's not bad, but it's definitely not my honey whiskey. I'm kind of missing it, but you know, I'll end up being able to get some. I just didn't realize that the liquor stores around here are so. They're like, nope, nobody's buying liquor. Nope, not before this time. Screw you. You know, so I don't know. Uh-oh, Pink said something. Pink, bringing Jesus into the mix. I didn't want to mention it, but I met Jesus in a liquor store about a month ago, and Manon is my witness. Trying to. I don't know what you're talking about. You met Jesus. You met Jesus in a liquor store? What? I don't know. You have to remind me of that one. Let's see. Elliot, what's the scariest thing you've come across over the course of your experience? Like a time when you realized that what you were dealing with was real and powerful. I don't know about being scary. I haven't really come across. Okay. I guess my scariest moment I ever came across was when I was very young, and I was 18 years old, and I went to a woman, and I was Wiccan, or practicing Wicca, not Gardnerian, but practicing Wicca. And I went to a woman who was 90 something years old. I think she was 92 years old in Hialeah, Florida. And she was reading my cards, and she only spoke Spanish at the time. There's a lot of Hispanic down in South Florida, especially in the Miami area. So like a lot of the magic based stuff down there is mostly Hispanic, like Santeria. There's a lot of Botanicas, things like that. So I had a really good friend. His name was John, and he was Hispanic, and he was with his mom, and they talked me into going down to this lady. So they said they'd translate for me. So they went down to her, and she basically, to make a long story short, gave me this reading that was so accurate. I mean, extremely accurate. Where I visited South Carolina when I was a kid for all the time during the summer. And I would go to visit my aunt and uncle. And there was a little cottage I'd play across in the woods. And she told me about this. She literally spit it back out at me, that I used to visit this place in the Carolinas, and that I used to go across the street in the woods and play in an old abandoned cottage. And in the process of doing this, she explained to me that while I was there playing one time, there was a spirit that attached himself to me, and that spirit guides me spiritually and all these fun and magically. Okay. So, and that I needed to honor that spirit. So I was like, okay. So she told me how to honor that spirit, and it involved like rum, or sorry, it involved agua ardiente, which is fire water as an alcohol, and some cigars. And I went and I went home and I did that. And that night was, so needless to say, again, make a long story short, there was like for the next month or two, there was a spirit that kept coming to visit me. That was a dark shadow, and it scared the shit out of me because I didn't know how to handle it when I was at such a young age and still very green at all this stuff. And he would come visit me. So I'd wake up. I'd feel like I'd wake up or be woken up, either way. And I would feel like someone's watching me. And I would open my eyes, and there would be a shadow there darker than the dark. And I'd freak out. And it would go away immediately. It wouldn't try to attack me, wouldn't do anything. Because I was one of those shadow people talk about all the time. Totally experienced those many times. I've experienced shadow people many times. Every time I've experienced a shadow person, my last time I experienced a shadow person was literally just like a month ago. And they're not dangerous, and they're not, they don't bother you in any way other than they're scary because they're kind of unknown. I'm not really scared of them anymore, but yeah, they totally exist. Absolutely. More common than people realize. And I think that when I was younger, that was probably, to answer your question, that was probably the scariest thing that, until I got used to it, that was the scariest thing that I experienced. One of the things that made me realize this is real and this is the real deal, and is anybody who watches my videos knows about how I told about story about my high priestess and how she was doing a drawing down back in 2000, and she literally, a couple of days before 9/11 happened, she told us about it in a drawing down. She literally did a drawing down of the goddess and explained a warrior coming from out of the east with a sword in hand riding a horse, and there was blood and death everywhere. And she was crying, and it was totally amazing. It was completely powerful. It was very powerful. And we all thought it was a hurricane because it was hurricane season in Florida. So we were all looking out for a hurricane. In reality, 2 days later, 9/11 happened. That was when I realized things like this magic, this system, these things that we work with are not fake. They're not a dream or an exaggeration. It's real. It's the real deal. Let's see. Put some more music on here. Lady Raven Moon, can you get a PO box so I can send you a housewarming gift? I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to get a PO box, and I'm going to start putting them at the bottom of my videos so people, yeah, because I've been getting that request quite a bit actually. And thank you so much. Thank you so much if you know when you send something. Moon Kitty says we still have dry counties in Georgia, man, and laugh out loud. You want to talk about not allowing people to drink? Yeah. And that's the thing is, I don't even think it's like here in New Hampshire that they don't want you to drink or anything. It's just like, I don't know why there's such a clamp, why everything closes so early, you know? Why Rosie, do you have any books that you recommend for reading? I actually have a video that you can backtrack on that is all about, where it's an entire video I did on books that I recommend. Go watch that, and it has a list of the authors and everything below too. There is one book in there that I recommend and I talk about, and I didn't realize it at the time. It's a book from R.J. Stewart. I think it's called The Living World of Fairy or something like that. That costs like $1,000 to get now. So, you know, it's just a great book. I mean, I'm not saying you have to get that one. So don't worry about that one, I guess, until it comes down in price or whatever the hell happens. So Moon Kitty says, Manning, can you do a more intermediate advanced practitioner video? Suggestion on books, etc. So many newbie videos, not enough for those of us more advanced. I do some, you're right. You're absolutely right. I do more videos on a level of like people who are just starting off. I do some that are kind of like, you know, my whole thing on evoking, for instance, or invoking, you know, the god and goddess, are channeling. That's more advanced. And my whole thing on familiars is a little more advanced. But I really just kind of do what comes along. You know, I mean, it kind of like I just kind of like, I don't hold back. In other words, it's not like I'm doing just newbie videos. It just so happens that you know a lot. And some of the stuff that you're considering newbie videos is just stuff you already know about. Which is good, because to be honest, we're always learning in this track. You know, we're always learning in Wicca and witchcraft. There's always things to learn. But there does start to be a point where things start to repeat, you know, and that's in anything, you know. But yeah, to answer your question, I'll do the best I can. You know, I mean, I'm not gonna commit to doing advanced stuff in a sense that, I mean, it just depends on what your level of advanced is too. I may never do a video. You may be more advanced than me, so I may never meet your needs, so to speak, if you know what I mean. Let's see. Jennifer Marsh says, is it good or bad to read your own cards? It's not bad at all. It's not whether it's good or bad. It's totally fine. It's totally up to you. The thing is some people can do it and some people can't. If you can read your own cards, more power to you. I can read my own cards only in a sense that I throw one card. And whatever that card is, that's it, man. I don't do a full reading for myself. I can't because I'm impartial, and I start to question the things I'm putting down. I start to not want to see certain things, so I start to kind of like edging things, to the more positive. For instance, if it's in that suit, so I do my own cards only in a sense that I throw one card for myself. Bam. Whatever that has, and then usually I have a specific question, so it always answers it. But I can tell you that it's extremely accurate with me. Right before I got a divorce and moved up here, one of the cards I threw was the death card. And the death card, as many of us know in tarot, doesn't mean an actual death, like you're going to die. It means complete change, like a completely new starting over. It's a death of your old life and beginning of a new life. So it was super, super accurate. And I didn't know what it meant at the time. I had no idea I was going to be selling my house in Florida and moving up here and starting a whole new life. But now I know where it came from. But yeah, it's not that it's good or bad to read your own cards. It's whether, if you're capable of doing it without altering and having a biased reading because it's yourself, it's absolutely cool. You can do that. Great, do it. I have trouble even reading for loved ones, like people that are directly in my life, like a wife or like a brother or sister that's like super close, or like a friend who's super, super close, because I will tend to not want to tell them things that I'm seeing, so yeah, it gets to be interesting. I do my best readings for people, for friends and stuff that I don't have a lot of connection in their life, because it allows me to stay very open and channel in the information a lot more pure, because my mind and ego aren't trying to alter the outcome. I don't know. I hope that answered your question. So Patrice says, I love read my tarot cards. Is it risky to read it late at night? No, not at all. I don't see why not. I mean, no, it's not risky. It's whenever it's easiest for you to read. It's best to read tarot cards when you are set in stone to do it. Don't try to do tarot cards when you're on your way out, or any divination when you're 5 minutes out from going to work or something like that, and you've got all these other things on your mind. You want to do any kind of divination when you can relax, be an open vessel, and ready to receive without any interruptions. That's when you want to do tarot cards. So if late at night is that when it's best for you, then that's when you do it. Oh, Pink said, laugh out loud. He was the cashier. His name tag said Jesus. I asked him how to pronounce his name, and yes, he said Jesus. Now I remember. You're absolutely right. He did say that, because I thought it was going to be Jesus. Because we have a lot of, down in South Florida, there's a lot of guys that their name is Jesus, and it's spelt like Jesus. Let's see. Oh my gosh. I got to backtrack here. Let's put some more music. Sorry, guys. Fountain of Miracles. You should try vodka gummy worms. Okay. I'm game. So it's cool. So I'm actually one of the first big things I'm doing here in New Hampshire is there is a function that's happening in Massachusetts that I'm going to go to. That's a big witchcraft function. That's going to be cool. I can't wait to do that. That's going to be awesome. The gummy worms. It is. You get drunk so quick. Holy crap. Is it like a Jello shot? Like Jello shots, people get screwed up big time also. So Darth says, at about age 3 is when I first had dreams and knew was different. What age did you realize witchcraft path was for you? Me personally, Darth, I was 18 years old when I realized, when I had the calling. When the goddess called on me, I was 18 years old, and it just happened out of the blue. All of a sudden, I just totally had a major interest in it. I actually have a video that talks about my life story and about witchcraft that talks about all of that. If you backtrack in my videos, you'll see it. Penn Proper says, I have a question. How do you find the best way to discern another spirit? Discern another spirit. I don't know. What does that mean? What does discern? I don't know what discern means. Hold on. Distinguish. With difficulty. Okay, so discern means to distinguish someone or something with difficulty by sight or with other senses. She could faintly discern the shape of a skull. Okay, so let me go back to the question. So it's what is the best way? How do you find the best way to discern another spirit? I think that in a situation like that, you almost have to be able to see them already. If you already have to be able to work with spirits in that sense. To discover another spirit, I think would be another way of saying it. Yeah, I don't have an answer for that because it's kind of like I don't understand the question really. Like you have to be a little bit more, like a little bit more explanatory on that one. Oh man, Leah said, "What song is this?" I don't know what one it was, so I don't know. Sorry. All right. No, SJ River says, I have those kinds of premonitions. I saw a group of people running through a glass maze and 2 guys throwing bombs at them. It was the night before the Boston Marathon bombing. Yeah, that's a premonition. That is a prophetic dream. Absolutely, for sure. Marguerite says, are you okay with all that blinding white? I know, right? I know, right? I mean, and the whole house is like that. So it is what it is. It's only for a month. You know, we're out of here at the end of September. So we're just we're camping out. The bottom line is we're totally camping out right now. Melody says, would love for you to do a video about more of that spirit with you. I think many of us have similar experience through our lives. Yeah, I could probably do that. I'll probably do that when I do the ghost video, when I do the video about spirits and ghosts and stuff like that. She said, Anne said, love catching you live, especially when you just happen to be on the same shirt. Did I wear this shirt last live video? I may have. I don't know. I may have. I don't know. I love this shirt. I freaking love the I drink and I know things shirt. Totally cool. I got a couple of new shirts this weekend, actually. One of them is like this whole skeleton thing. At like, I don't know. It's like a whole like I got it at Spirit Halloween because Halloween's already coming out and they're already selling stuff. So I got this really cool like long sleeve shirt that has like a skeleton all over it, almost like the one they did in like the Karate Kid, like back in the day. So Brian Hunt says, RJ Stewart has his own website. I ordered the Living World of Fairy from it for $20. He signed it and sent a free gift. Awesome. Brian, do you know if that's still available? Like, because a lot of people I have coming back to me saying the book's is out of print now and that it costs like $1,000 to get. So I have a signed copy of his book also, but it's because I went to back in the 90s. I spent the weekend with him a couple of times. He had a couple of weekend retreats, and I had done them. Let's see. Debbie says, how does negative energy go to the witch bottle and not the witch? Since the witch has a lot more energy within themselves. If negative energy has some kind of intelligence like negative spirit. How it works is because you're actually creating this witch's bottle. Again, go back and watch the video and I'll explain it. But it actually is, you're putting your DNA and everything in this witch's bottle. And why, yes, you have more energy and more DNA than the witch's bottle is going to have. What makes the energy go to the witch's bottle is the magic that's involved. Meaning that you're actually putting magic out there to redirect any negative energy to the witch's bottle. So that's where the magic comes into play. You're kind of setting up a little altar, a little you, a mini you, and you're empowering it to intercept all negativity that comes to you. That's why it's best to put it somewhere around you, within 100 feet of you, where you bury it outside your front door or outside your house somewhere. It's a form of protection magic. And your magic that you put out there is telling any negativity that's coming to go to that bottle instead. So to answer your question, that's why the magic goes to the bottle instead of you, because the magic that you've put out is telling it to do that. Genevieve McBride says, I just found the Living World of Fairy on Amazon for $49. Awesome. Thank you. That's awesome. So do me a favor. Go to my video on my recommended books and post that, please, because that will tell people that you can get it for less than $1,000. Moon Kitty says, I agree, and basics are very important to come back to every once in a while, and I know there are certain things you can't share due to certain pathos, but thank you. No problem, Moon Kitty. Yeah, I'll get to, and if you want to catch me back channel too, I'm not against like working with you and answering questions back channel of things that are a little more advanced that maybe you have, and this goes for anybody. If you want to get a hold of me personally, I can help you with a lot of things. A lot of people do that. They'll get a hold of me back channel. They'll send me an email, which I have listed in the description on most of my videos. And even in like Facebook Messenger or something like that, you just shoot me. Right now, I'm not in a situation where I don't answer questions. I answer just about everybody who gives me a message. The only reason I would not answer you is because I didn't see it. Which I don't see everything, but I will answer just about anything you have to ask. And so if you have something more advanced you want to get into, absolutely hit me up. Hell, you might hit me up with something that I'm like, I don't know, man, you tell me about it. I don't even know what you're talking about. This is awesome. Teach me something, I mean, that would be great, great too. Let's see. Let's do. Okay. SJ River, we all have areas that we are more advanced in, areas where we can learn from others. Absolutely. There's a ton of things I don't know about that I would love to learn about, but a lot of times I get guest speakers to teach about things like that. Like I have one video coming up that I want to do on Druidism, which I don't know a lot about Druidism at all, but I want to know something about it. So I have a guest speaker coming on soon to teach us all about Druidism. So that should be pretty cool. Death is only the beginning, Arnold Vosloo. Zine says, death is only the beginning. Yeah, that's true. I agree with that 100%. Let's see. I know you've touched on this in your past videos. So Elliot Dimsky says, I know you've touched on this in your past videos, but how would you define witchcraft at this point in your life? Life. It is my life. How would I define witchcraft at this point in my life? The same. It's always been the same for me. It's just it's a way of life. I mean, that's the only way I can say it. That's the best way to say it. Is it's a way of life for me. It's everything I do on a daily basis, especially nowadays, is witchcraft to me. You know, witchcraft is everything in life that's magic. You know, the sun coming up, the day, the wind blowing, the elements all around you, everything involved with it, the four seasons, the animals to interact with you, all of that's witchcraft. All of that's magic. The chipmunk coming to me in the last couple of days and wanting to journey with me is magic. You know, never would have thought of anything like that, but it totally came to me and totally stood out and said, you need to acknowledge me, and you need to learn what I'm about, you know. So I actually plan on doing a whole research now for myself on the chipmunk and use it as a power animal. If you go back and watch my video on animal totems, it'll go over all that. So I plan on totally doing a thing with the chipmunk now to see what it's all about, you know. Let's see. Teeth. Panada says, blessed be from England. Wow, that's a good one. England, for sure. Luann says, at pink, what is the best color for calming? At least 2 people in my family is neurodivergent. I'm sure she'll answer you. Didn't she? Luann, oh, Pink said Luann, blue and green. I agree with that, absolutely. I personally like light blue, like that sky blue for calming. Why do you Komeda says, why do Madonna paintings also have a crescent moon on her feet, just like the right priestess card, just like the high priestess card? The crescent moon is probably, I mean, the crescent moon, it just means that whether it's waxing or waning, it means a growth. Most likely that crescent moon is because of growth. Jeremy, everything has power, everything has energy. 100% agree. Let's see. My boring PowerPoints says chipmunks are good spirits, very industrious. That's what I need right now. Genevieve McBride, everything is energy. 100% agree. Patricia says, if we look carefully, magic is everywhere. Absolutely agree. 100%. Tony Doty says you should actually do vids in session on the chipmunk as you're learning. That's a good idea. I don't want to bore you guys, though. I mean, SJ River says, Pound Luann, also greens and blues can be calming, but be careful because they can be depressing. Yeah, if it's to the extreme, absolutely. Just like the color red can be passionate, but at the same time, when too much excess can be extremely angry. Amanda, suggestions on finding a coven in my area. Yeah, there's a back channel me, Amanda. And I will back channel me, and I will and I'll give you a link to a thing called Magic and Mandragore or something like that, which is basically it's a link that'll put you up with a community so that you can get with a coven, hopefully in your area. Ronnie Webb says, do you do any type of solitary practice when away from a coven? Absolutely. I don't do just coven work. Although the majority of my work is coven work. If I know I'm going to be doing a spell and I know I can wait for the coven to help me do it, I'll do that. But I actually do absolutely do solitary work also. Well, the spell I'm about to do is going to end up being solitary work. So, yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Oh, back channel. Sorry, Amanda. Back channel means to direct exactly what Moon Kitty said. It means get a hold of me in an email or in a private message. In other words, get a hold of me privately. Mountain Mesh. What is a good color candle to light for starting a new beginning and moving? I would say white. For me personally, I would use white all day long. Yeah, pink. Her favorite color, and she told me this a while ago. Her favorite color is rainbow. Is the rainbow, which was new to me. I never experienced that before, where the color of the rainbow, like all those colors, is actually a thing. But it is. So I think that's kind of neat. Melody Derby says, Pink, the Redwoods are phenomenal. You might never get him out of there. Laugh out loud. Jeremy Gibbs says, this in part why death is a new beginning. Your body might cease, but the energy that is your soul continues on. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only change forms. You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely right. It can only be, I actually have a video that I talk about that. It's a video on energy that I go over all those things. California? Oh man, California. No comment on California. Listen, for those people that live in California, love California, cheers to you. And I'm sure there's great parts to California, but yeah, I won't be going to California anytime soon. Rain Angel Hamilton. Is it wrong to share your ultra space on social media? Not really. Not as far as I'm concerned. I did. I have my ultra space in my second video. Heck, in my video on tools, I even showed my altar space in my circle room and everything. So no, it's really up to you. If you feel like that's something that you need to keep private, I believe Pink is, well, that's not true too, because Pink actually showed her altar space also. I think it's up to you. I don't think it's wrong though. Absolutely not. It's totally up to you. Linar Vic says, as you have done videos on animal guides and familiars, will there be any videos on shape-shifting? I don't. Lunar Vix, the thing is if there is a video on shape-shifting, it's not going to be done by me. It'll be done by a guest. Because to be honest with you, I don't know anything about it. I don't know about shape-shifting at all. So if I was to do a video on it, I'd be citing something from Wikipedia or something like that, and I don't like doing that. If I don't know about something, I need somebody to teach me about it. So if I can find somebody, or you can suggest somebody who knows about shapeshifting, I'd be happy to do a video on it. Do you know about shapeshifting? You do a video with me on it. I'll have you on as a guest. Teach us about shapeshifting by all means. I'd love to learn about that. I've only seen it in the movies. I mean, what does a movie teach you? I mean, so if you know anybody who can teach us about it, or you can, totally get a hold of me and we'll do a video on it for sure. Pink Tourmaline says, I did as well. Who made this? Who made this don't show your space rule? Laugh out loud. I heard it and I don't get it. Yeah, I guess it's because some people just feel like it's like giving away your power. But if you want to go that far, then don't tell anybody your name either. Knowing somebody's name gives you a lot of power over them. So, whatever. To each their own. To each their own. Luann, do you do any ancestor work? Absolutely, tremendously. I do ancestor work every single circle. It's part of my circle, as a matter of fact, working with ancestors and with what I call mighty ones also. I could probably do a video on that soon. Working with ancestors. Actually, that's probably a good idea. I'm going to put that on my notes right now, actually. Hold on a second, guys. Let's see. Let's see. Come on. Here we go. Ancestor video. Done. Yeah, that's a good one. I might work with that for sure. Astral project Melody Derby. What about astral projection? Work with astral projection with my coven and work with it all the time. With astral projection and UBIs, which is out of body experience. I can totally do a video on that too. Actually, I already have that one on my list of things to do. So eventually I'll come across that too. And you just got to wait for it. Sorry. Tanya Doty says, I never give my full witchcraft, my full witch name, only shorter version for those that are super close to me. Cool. Some people have a separate name altogether. Like I have a name that I don't give anybody that I work with magically. The only other people who know it are my fellow Gardnerian family. But for the most part, I just use Manon for the most part. I hate this camera. Ugh, is what it is. So Rock Monster Lord says, have you discovered any local foods yet that are bomb? Okay. Me and Pink were just talking about this today. So Pink spent 6 months with me in South Florida. And we ate at places. We went out and had dinner, lunches, breakfast, everything. Food, Right at the end of our stay, on the way traveling up here, actually, when we hit Sebastian to visit my sister, we ate at a place that she thought was the bomb, and everything was great, and everything tasted awesome. Before that, she wasn't impressed at all with any of the food in South Florida. Maybe it was just the places I was taking her. I don't know. She just wasn't happy. Where a lot of people, though, the places I was taking her thought this is the best place to eat. That being said, she wasn't impressed. And I was like, well, it is what it is. Maybe your palate's weird. Got up here. Everywhere she's taken me to eat, lunch, dinner, breakfast, doesn't matter. Freaking amazing. The food up here is so much better than the food where I just came from in South Florida. Everything tastes amazing and everything is awesome. It's like unbelievable. So I kind of experienced what she was talking about. I'm like, okay, I get it now. I'm like, I get it now what you were talking about. So like up here, I just told her, like over the weekend, I was sitting there telling her, I said, there is no bad food up here. I'm like, as long as you're not going to like McDonald's or something like that, where everything's pretty much standardized anyway. And that's the other thing. So fast food places up here, everything is super fast. Like they literally bring the meaning of fast food. So when you go to a drive-through up here, the drive-through person tells you, please have your money ready at the window, because the shit goes so fast getting your food and accurate. Where I just came from, 50% of the time, your order was going to be screwed up. There was no debating it. Your order was going to be screwed up, period. I have yet to go through a fast food place down here, and I go to Dunkin' Donuts twice a day, every day for a coffee. They've never messed it up. And literally, you don't stop. The only time you stop is when you're actually placing your order. From the moment they say, drive forward and please make sure you have your money ready at the window, you don't even stop. They're like throwing the shit at you. And I mean, I actually the other day complained that they were going too fast. And then I stopped myself and went, what are you talking about? That's what fast food is about. This is a dream. Would I rather be sitting in line where waiting for 20 minutes Or would I rather like not even freaking come to a complete stop because my food's coming out that fast and flawless, no less? I don't know why. I don't have a reasoning behind it. I don't know. Maybe the air is cleaner up here. I have no idea. Everything is super fast. Like there's none of this bullshit delay. I literally sat in a line at McDonald's for 20 minutes back in South Florida. That is unheard of here. Unfreaking heard of. Just doesn't happen. I don't know if it's all of New England. I don't know if it's just New Hampshire. I don't know if it's just the city that I'm in. All I know is that the city that I'm in Hooksett, that just doesn't happen. Does not happen. I mean, it's actually kind of amazing. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, let's put another song on. Sorry, guys. Let's do the Lobster Polka. I never get my full wish name. Between you guys, my question: my kids are still okay. Luann says, "My question now is, my kids are still little, and if they do a great art piece, can I share that on my altar? I have because I know it's something my dad would have loved to see." My question is, now my kids are still little, and if they do a great art piece, can I share it on my altar? Absolutely, why not? Of course you can. Pig says, "My real name is Tabitha. I'm not running scared." But that's all the info anyone is getting from me on that. Laugh out loud. I have yet to use any name other than my given name. Jeremy says, "I have yet to use any name other than my given name." So my real name is... I'm not going to tell you. Doesn't matter. Actually, my real name, my mundane name is actually Bill. Yeah, my name is Bill. Bill! But everybody calls me Manning. Even Tabitha calls me Manning. Or sorry, Pink. Even Pink calls me Manning. Like her and her daughter both, they call me Manning. It's funny. Rain says, "Will you be planning on doing a video on Norse paganism?" I could, but again, I don't know a lot about it. I don't want to do a video on something I don't know about. That's bullshit. I don't like it when people do that. If you don't know about it, then don't fucking try to teach it. If you know somebody who knows a lot about Norse paganism and who does things on Norse paganism, and you can introduce me to them so I can have them on as a guest to do the video, that would be awesome, because I am all about doing a video and sitting in while I'm being taught too with you guys. So if you know somebody who knows something about Norse paganism who can teach it, by all means, hook them up with me so I can have them on and we can do a video together. Would love that. Okay. And fellow dweller, what are you? Top 5 places for food down here. As a fellow Hollywood, Florida dweller, what were your top 5 places for food down here? Leah says that. Leah, I would say if you like Irish food, go to The Field. It's a place called The Field that's really good. If you're into Hispanic food, La Carreta. Just keep in mind that I didn't realize this. Pink actually introduced me to this. So like the La Carreta down in South Florida is mostly all Cuban. It's all Cuban food. There's no Mexican food. It's all Cuban food. Up here, the La Carreta is mostly Mexican food. So it's kind of interesting. It changes as it goes. But La Carreta, if you're into Hispanic food, but realize it's going to be mostly Cuban food, not Mexican. For Mexican food, couldn't give an answer on that one. I don't know. I really didn't. A lot of the food down there was very like, I always went to like places that were pretty common, like the Olive Garden and stuff like that. So it's, it's like what everybody else knows. There's no secret gyms other than the field is really good. That's like a secret gym, for instance. Africa, the pink. Let's see. Okay, so Brian. Okay, so I'm a Starbucks guy myself. Okay, Pink is a Dunkin' girl. So one of the things I learned coming up here is that up here, the Starbucks, there's only a few of them. It's not, there's more, there's a Dunks on every corner, a Dunkin' Donut. There's very few Starbucks. So, and when you do go to Starbucks, there's a line about a quarter of a mile long. It's ridiculous. Okay. So one of the things I realized was if you go to Dunkin' Donuts, and because Dunkin' Donuts, when I drink their coffee, it's like drinking watered down coffee. I just couldn't do it. I could not do it. But I learned a secret, and this is my secret. Get a turbo shot in it. Just go to Dunkin' Donuts, get a turbo shot, and it's the next best thing to Starbucks. Because the bottom line is Starbucks coffee is much stronger than Dunkin' Donuts will ever wish to be. But when they throw that turbo shot in there, it gets it up to par. Secret there. So I started doing dunks with that turbo shot, and it's been sufficing. Let's see. Melody Derby, servitors, ? Melody, Pink knows all about that. And there's actually a video that we do called Poppets. I think it's called Hello Poppet. Is the name of the video. She talks a little bit about servitors. If you have any questions specifically, you want to know more about servitors, shoot me an email or shoot me a messenger or something like that, and I'll hook you up with Pink to teach you a little bit more about servitors. Let's see. Leah says, I am Cuban Italian, born in Hialeah, raised in Hollywood. I was born in Pembroke Pines. I was born and raised in Pembroke Pines. So yeah, so you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Tanya, Jeremy, when it's time for you to have a craft name, it will come to you. Oh, I must have missed that post. You guys are posting a lot, so I'm only catching every other thing. Jeremy, I also have a video on your magical name. It's a video on your magical name and also numerology where they tie together. If you go back and look at that, it might give you some tips and pointers on your magical name. Charlotte says, I really like how you say when you don't know about something. I watched YouTubers do videos on subjects they didn't really know about. Well, yeah, because I don't believe in that. I have nothing to hide from you guys. I do this for fun. And I do this because I love you guys and I just love to teach and everything. And I love witchcraft and Wicca. I'm not trying to make something out of myself that I'm not. If I don't know about something, I'm not going to try to teach it. I'm not going to try to lead you guys astray and kind of bullshit you guys. I mean, we're all in this together. So, I mean, you know, it is what it is. I mean, I just being honest and real with everybody, you know, I mean. Kendra says, which in the working, find a good local coffee shop and support them. I bet it'll be much better than both those corporations laugh out loud. You know what? You're absolutely right. And that is a great idea. That's a great idea. And there are some up here too. I've noticed some of them. So, yep. Great idea. Miranda, you guys are still on. Thought I'd miss you. We're still here. Not long, not for long, but we're still here. What have we been on now? For an hour and a half. I'm going to go about 10 more minutes and I'm going to let you guys go. I love doing this, though. I could do this all night long, but I don't want to, overkill. See, Isle of Mist. I see we're all, Brian Hunt says, I see we're all passionate about coffee. Hell yeah, man. You kidding me? Luann, it's so funny. My daughter heard you say Leah, and she thought you were talking to her. Her name is Leah, and she thought it was so cool. Hi, Leah. Dolly says, I love this channel. Oh, thanks so much. I love all you guys, man. Seriously, like every one of my subscribers, I freaking love you guys. I mean... Rosie R, do you just have videos on YouTube? All of my content that you're going to see. I also have videos on Instagram, on Instagram, but it's IGTV, I think they call it. But I kind of stopped posting there because Instagram stopped favoring videos. They kind of are going to be more towards some other things. But most of my videos are here on YouTube. I do everything on YouTube. And even the ones you would see on IGTV are just this video, just put over on IGTV, so it doesn't matter. This is your one-stop shop. I don't want to have a bunch of videos all over the place where people have to pick and choose and try to find something. Just leaving them here for now. I mean, things might change in the future. I don't know, maybe YouTube will not exist anymore. But as of right now, YouTube is the best place and the easiest place to find them. I also have a Facebook page, but again, all of my videos are the same. It's not like I do a different video for Facebook. It's the same exact video. I just posted over to link to YouTube. So Melody says, is this Jeremy Gibbs, the oddities guy? I don't know. Jeremy, are you the oddities guy? Lady Ravenmoon says, could you think about doing rituals live with us? It would feel like we are in a coven with you. So totally want to do that sometime. Totally want to do that. And I also, moving forward, want to do videos that aren't necessarily live, but that I do them and film them and then, go through and edit it and everything. So it's not so boring, but I'll go through and edit them and put video samples of what I do for ritual, and kind of get it to you guys. Let's see. Darth says, came across this channel back in April and love it. Thank you very much. Luann said you made her night. She said hi. Pink told Mountain Mishi, we went to La Tub before we left. I sat next to the toilet, literally a toilet out in the open. That is true. That is so true. And it just so happened that the waitresses would dump all the drinks and stuff like that they pulled off the table because the toilet was set in like a little garden, and they would dump all the drinks in this garden, and it started to smell like really bad. I wasn't too impressed with them. It's like, but I mean, they're good, but I mean, I guess, but if you watch my last video on me and Pink's trip up here, you'll actually see where in the very beginning, we're on a boat ride. That boat was actually a friend of mine taking us to La Tub to eat dinner. Rye Rosie R says, good, come on over to Denver. Lady Raven says, that's a great idea. Sounds great. Kendra says, Witch into Working and at Pink Tourmaline Witch. Maybe I recommend that you both start a podcast together. I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess we could probably do a podcast at some point, but I spend so much time just trying to work these videos in. There's no way I could do a podcast too. I mean, I just don't see it happening anytime in the near future. Iced coffee is disgusting. I don't like iced coffee. That's gross. You know, one of the things, that's one of my pet peeves, actually. It used to happen in Florida all the time. It doesn't happen here. Oh, there goes Seven, scratching on her cactus. Hi, Seven. She doesn't like me too much. Me and Seven don't get along so great. She's kind of stuck up. Leah Victoria. I've heard many stories that La Tub was once the best burger in South Florida. When I went there, I was not pleased with the hype. I agree 100%. I totally agree. Yeah, that's one of my pet peeves I was saying about the coffee places. Like they'd always ask me ice, or they'd ask me cold or hot. I don't know. It's just my opinion. I will. Why? What the hell? Cold coffee? Come on. Coffee's meant to be hot. I don't know. Whatever. I understand everybody's got their own thing, and I apologize to all of you iced coffee drinkers out there, but bro and sister, come on, man. Coffee's supposed to be hot. What? Pink says, hey, that's my baby. She's not stuck up. She's just a loner because it makes her look cool. Rain says, I love iced coffee. Ew, I just can't do it. Dina McLeod says, how is the weather? Been out? Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally. We went to a couple of clubs and everything already down here. Well, not necessarily clubs, but like hangouts where everybody's like having a really good time. She loves her cactus. We had to buy that cactus so she wouldn't scratch on the couch. Seven. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we went to a couple of places, but it's totally been out every day. Are you kidding me? Man, I haven't stayed in the house. No way. Between that and everything else, everything else I've got to do. There's so many things I got to get done before in the next month. I'm trying. I mean, I got to get. So I had to order my birth certificate in so that I could go to the DMV to get a New Hampshire driver's license. I had to get. I had to cancel things back in Florida because I was still being billed for stuff like electricity and stuff like that. I had to. I had to get an express thing here. So back in Florida, you have a Sun Pass. Up here, it's called an Easy Pass, and I had to cancel my Sun Pass and get an Easy Pass. So I had to do that, which I just finally got in. There's so many things that have to be done up here that I have to change everything around. I had to get a hold of my insurance and change my car insurance because obviously I'm not in Florida anymore. So if I get into an accident, it has to be, New Hampshire based. A lot of different things like that little things that I'm kind of figuring out as I'm going along. I'll literally be like getting emails or something and go, oh shit, I got to cancel that, or I got to fix that, When it rains here. So somebody says here, Dina McLeod, Florida is hot and sticky and it rained again. It's not hot and sticky up here. It's actually very crisp. And one of the other things I love is the second I walk out the front door, I smell trees. I smell like evergreen, like trees and stuff. And I'm not used to that either. It smells so good up here. It's like there's constant like incense burning outside. Like if you have like an evergreen, it just smells so good. Everything smells crisp and like it's very, very cool. Again, a lot of people probably don't realize it anymore, but coming from like South Florida where you don't have that, you come up here and everything is just like so different. And like running streams and rivers. I pass a running stream and river every day, and it's like people get pissed at me because I'll be driving and I'll be looking at the river, and it makes me slow down, and they're like, "Come on, man!" And I'm like, "Oh shit, sorry," because it blows me away. You don't have running rivers and streams in South Florida, and it's so cool. It's like I want to just go down there and just like it just makes everything feel so magical. It's like I want to go down there and like do a spell or do a working or do a sabbat or a ritual next to this running stream with this water. Me and Pink were in the woods today, walking through the woods, and there was a stream going, and just sitting there listening to the stream. Do you realize there's people that pay money to listen to a running stream to go to sleep at night? And in Florida, I was like, well, yeah, I mean, you got to pay for it because this is not here. It's like all I got to do is just go out in the woods real quick, go walk 5 minutes from here, and there's a running stream. It's like totally amazing. Just ranting. Let's see. Update upstate New York. So Patrice Marie Dobson says, I lived in upstate New York. Absolutely. It's pretty much the same. Yeah, from what I guess. I mean, I might be talking out of my ass there. I don't know. But I know it's very woodsy and stuff there too. Tanya, yeah, I missed the cool air to go walking in. I'd be outside all day. Here in Florida, you get hit with a heat blast when you walk out the door. That's true. I remember explaining to people, and I tell people, especially in the middle of the summer, you'll walk outside and it feels like you're walking into a freaking oven. Man, I got a stitch in my side. Ugh, I hate that. So yeah, you'll walk in outside and you get hit with a blast of it's like walking into an oven. It's ridiculous. And it's it's one of the places in the world where, especially like if you're, which I hear this from women, where they'll be wearing makeup or something, and just walking from the front door to the car, it's like you just start to melt. It's like ridiculous. Patrice Marie says, Manon, for what you said, New Hampshire is full of energy. Yeah, I'm experiencing that. I'm starting to see that. I think I like any state where there's no palmetto bugs. And for any of you who don't know what a palmetto bug is, it's a giant cockroach that flies. And that was one of my biggest pet peeves in South Florida was these giant cockroaches, because when you live in Florida, you're getting them. They're going to be in your house. And it's not about being dirty. It's not about where you see about where people have roaches or cockroaches in their house. It's because they're dirty people. These aren't those roaches. These aren't the little roaches that, the little germ roaches that invade houses wherever you may live. These are big. They're big freaking American cockroaches. They're like 2 inches long, and they're huge, and they fly, and they come from the outside. They're an outside bug, but from time to time they make their way into your house. Hate them. Disgusting. Gross. They move really fast, and they're the one things I grew up with that I can't stand. And I'm so glad up here they don't exist. They don't exist up here. When I tell people about this, they go, what's that? And I'm like, oh, thank God. That's one thing I don't miss about South Florida is the giant cockroaches. Leah Victoria says palmetto bug is the Florida state bird. Exactly. I freaking hate those things, man. So any state that has those things, Georgia, South Carolina, I ain't going there. I'm done with them. I am done with them. Richard says, I think the mosquitoes are the state bird. Yeah, the mosquitoes are worse in Florida too. That's for sure. There's mosquitoes up here, but they're definitely worse down in Florida. Shelly says, my brother's in Florida and deals with snakes and crocs coming up on his lawn. Yeah, that happens too. There's no alligators up here. No croc, nothing like that. There isn't even any lizards up here. There's no lizards. There's snakes. I've seen a couple of snakes already walking in the woods, mostly like garter snakes and stuff like that. I think they're garter snakes. But definitely there's no lizards or anything. Hugo McLaughlin, are there lots of people living in tents in New Hampshire? No, not at all. Not that I've seen anyway. Tanya says, I never liked June bugs, but roaches are the ugliest, nasty critters. Harrison says, where did you go to? Well, Harrison, if you're talking to me, I moved to Hooksett, New Hampshire, to Manchester, New Hampshire. Rock Monster Lord says, Gardnerian snakes? Laugh out loud. No, not Gardnerian. Garter snakes. Garter snakes. Garter, I think that's how you spell it. SJ River says, there were only 2 venomous snakes in New Hampshire and only like 5 types of snakes. What are the venomous ones, SJ? Tell me what put in there what the venomous ones are, so I know what to look out for. Hugo says, we have tent cities here in California. No, that doesn't happen here. We have them here. They had them down in Florida too, but not that I've seen in New Hampshire. I don't think New Hampshire would. No, I don't think there's that in New Hampshire. Let's see. Let me put one more thing here. Brian says, if you could go back and circle with Gerald Brousseau Gardner or Doreen Valiente, who would it be? Man. Brian, what kind of question is that? I can't answer that. Man. Oh, man. I don't know, because Doreen was so creative. But Gerald's like the foundation of it all. Can I circle where they're both priest and priestess in the circle? That would, forget it, man. That would, I could die right there. I mean, right there. You know, the circle with Gerald and Doreen. That's so listen. Okay, I'm gonna go for 2 hours. I'm gonna go for 15 more minutes, and then I'm gonna jump off. So Richard says, I'm looking for a witch place here in Jacksonville. If you get a hold of me, Richard, back channel or privately via my email or something, I can send you a link called Magic, and I think it's called Magic of Mandragora or something like that. I forget the name, but it's a link I can send you that you can look up for a coven in your area. And there's definitely covens in the Jacksonville area. I know of a few of them personally. So Brian, so Patricia, I've actually talked to. I've actually talked to Patricia a couple of times. And I have a lot of her stuff, actually. Patricia, I actually have a connection with. Probably because she's still alive. Jeremy says, what about Robert Cochran? I would do it. I would totally do that. Absolutely. I would love to pick that man's brain, Robert Cochran. Absolutely. That would be a treat and a half. Susan Gallagher says, hello to you, Bill, sending out love and light, illuminated from my heart, teaching out to all you beloved people. Great teachings. Thanks. She called me by my real name. Can you please give me your proper pronunciation of it? Oh, Kendra at Raven Moon says, which in the working, can you please give your proper pronunciation of Aradia? That's how I say it. Aradia. Some people say Aradia or Aradia. I say Aradia. I'm going to type my email now. Hi, Devin. Now I got you. What are you going to do? She hates me. She can't stand it. That's my email. Dina says, can you explain cord cutting? the benefits or not. Cord cutting. Don't know what you mean by that. Cord cutting. Can you be a little bit more, Dina? Can you be a little bit more explanatory? I don't know what you mean by cord cutting. Ronnie says, do you have your own tradition you practice outside of a coven? Meaning, do you have a specific circle casting and Esbit Sabbath ritual you do when in between covens? Ronnie, everything I do is Gardnerian based. Even my own personal circles, I just cast a Gardnerian circle. I used to have, in my younger years, before I became Gardnerian, I had a whole tradition that I had created called the Whittian tradition. But it was an eclectic tradition that I just created myself. I just got books and read things and just, I took what I liked out of different books and I created my own thing. I created what worked for me and for the people I was working with, which were really just family and friends. Now, when I do even a solitaire circle in between circles, I still just do Gardnerian circles. Brian, good night, dude. Good night, bro, for sure. Pink said that face that Seven made when you were holding her. She does that every time. I told you she can't stand me. She does not like me at all. She doesn't like boys. The fact is, Seven doesn't like penises. It's that simple. She only likes girls. If you've got a penis, she hates your guts. SJ River, Dina McLeod. Binding rituals are good to get rid of certain negative people. Absolutely, I agree. I do binding rituals. I've done binding rituals quite a few times. So it looks like people are actually starting to hop off. I'm going to do the same thing. I love all of you guys and gals. Thank you so much for joining me for this third question and answer. So I'm going to put a video out coming up next week. That's going to be on I think I'm going to do it on I want to do a little series on people who want to work with covens specifically, and even how to start your own coven, in that sense. Things to look out for, pitfalls, advantages, positive, negatives, pros, cons, whatever. I wanted to get into all that stuff. So I want to say good night to everybody. And thank you so much for joining me on this. And I'm going to make this a video and make it like episode number 58 or whatever it is, like I usually do. So don't be tricked into thinking that when I put out the very next video will actually be this, but as a video. So don't be tricked into thinking it's something different. A lot of people have been doing that lately. They think that I put out a new video when I do one of these live Q&As, and it's actually just this Q&A put onto my YouTube channel as one of the episodes. So I love you guys and gals. I will catch you next time, and I'm going to end the stream, and thank you so much for coming and joining with me.